Hey y'all, it's Celt. There's a possibility that Trump's going to be arrested on Tuesday. So let's talk about it. Not the arrest, but the right's reaction to it. Roll clip.
We are living in a banana republic third world mess. It's being reported that Donald Trump is set to be arrested on Tuesday. This is the sort of thing that happens in communist China, in Russia, in North Korea. This is not supposed to happen in the United States of America, where the former president and probably the next president of the United States gets perp walked and arrested. Our justice system is absolutely dead. People like Hillary Clinton and Hunter Biden walk free, while politicized DAs go after Trump purely because they don't like his political stances.
I really hope you watched that clip with your MAGA buzzword bingo card, because if you did, you would have filled out your board. I don't know how many times I have to explain to MAGA the United States is not a banana republic. The United States creates banana republics. I already have a video explaining what a banana republic is and how that term came to be, but essentially it's when a larger country such as the United States uses insurrections and coups to try to attempt to overthrow a democratically elected leader because they didn't like the election results. Sound familiar? So we're not a banana republic, but if a certain event a few years ago was successful, then yeah, we would be a banana republic. But now that we got that one out of the way, I do have to say that buzzword bingo is being played by multiple political pundits on the conservative side, not just low-level TikTokers like this, particularly with the normal invoking of communism when something that a conservative doesn't like is happening. Apparently, politicians being held accountable for their actions and accountable towards the law is communism. But it's only communism when it's politicians they like, because in the same breath that they're condemning the arrest of Donald Trump as communism, they're calling for the arrest of the entire Biden family and the Clinton family.
Our justice system is absolutely dead. People like Hillary Clinton and Hunter Biden walk free, while politicized DAs go after Trump.
And we already know that they don't actually know what communism is. Communism is just a buzzword for they don't like this. Because in the 80s, they used to call something completely different communism.
Still, any attempt to restrict drinking and driving here is viewed by some as downright undemocratic.
It's kind of getting communist when a fella can't put in a hard day's work, put in 11, 12 hours a day, and then get in your truck and at least drink one or two beers.
They're making it laws where you can't drink when you want to. You have to wear a seatbelt when you're driving. And pretty soon we're going to be a communist country.
Yeah, that's two people saying America is becoming a communist country because they were strengthening drunk driving laws and enforcing seatbelt laws. But these words are used because it resonates with the conservative base. Communism is this big scary thing, and they associate banana republics with communism, even though banana republics are created and installed by capitalist countries and companies. Like, to these people, you can capitalism so hard that they think it's communism. Now, this is the normal part. Republicans and conservatives are going to call anything they don't like communism. The issue comes in with what Trump and other politicians are saying about the impending arrest. Here are the two posts that Trump did on Truth Social announcing his arrest on Tuesday. The majority of it is his buzzwords, everybody's corrupt except him and everybody's just out to get him. The important part is the last two sentences in what he posts. Protest and take back your country. That is the exact same rhetoric that Trump pushed for January 6th. And just like back during January 6th, this rhetoric is being echoed by other conservative pundits and MAGA followers such as Marjorie Taylor Greene, in which she tweeted that all Republicans should go scorched earth. This is Trump and the MAGA base calling for a repeat of January 6th if Trump is actually arrested. So we have that group, the main MAGA core, pushing for protests and violence in an attempt to keep Trump from being arrested. But interestingly, we have a second camp within the conservative movement right now. We have people like Matt Walsh and others still pushing the conspiracy theory that January 6th was some FBI black op to make conservatives and MAGA look bad. The basics of this conspiracy theory was it wasn't Trump that riled up his fan base to storm the Capitol on January 6th, but that it was FBI undercover agents pushing and enticing Republicans to commit these crimes, basically claiming that law enforcement committed entrapment to push a narrative. Now, you may think that these two viewpoints, the side pushing for protests and the side claiming that any push for protests is just a black flag operation, are working against each other ideologically. That's actually not the case. This is simply the Republican Party and MAGA covering all of its bases. If the protest is successful and it causes something like DeSantis stopping Trump from being extradited out of Florida, they're going to claim the protest was a victory. If anything goes wrong that makes them look bad, such as violence, then they just claim that it was a federal black flag operation that they had been warning people all along about. See, this is truly them just covering all of their bases. And to be honest, I'm not truly sure what's going to happen on Tuesday. I am pretty confident that if Trump is arrested, he's not going to be handcuffed or perp walked. If it does actually happen, he'll surrender himself under Secret Service escort. He'll be fingerprinted, his mugshot taken, and then he'll be released to Secret Service custody on his own volition to show up at a later court date. As for there's going to be violence and riots, I don't know. I would say be cautious. I'm optimistic that we will see protests, but not like what we saw on January 6th, just because Trump rallies and things like Trump's appearance at CPAC have had diminishing returns on the amount of people showing up. But with that, there's reports that there are already people outside Mar-a-Lago protesting against Trump's arrest. So if you do live in an area in which a scheduled protest against Trump's arrest is announced, be cautious. These type of events draw people like the Proud Boys, and as we've seen from them at their drag time story hour protests, they do have a tendency to get violent. But at the same time, I wouldn't freak out and panic. So pay attention to the news, stay safe, and hopefully justice is served.